I'd like to report a crime that hasn't happened yet. Have you seen the movie Back to the Future? Basically, I'm living that movie right now, which is how I know there's gonna be a murder tonight.
Hate time travel movies. They never make any sense.
Happy Halloween. How about we all stay in and hand out Halloween candy?
No, Mom.
You know how hard this time of year is for us. Your friends were murdered 35 years ago.
It's not 1987 anymore.
Stay safe, honey. I love you.
What the fuck? Excuse me, what year is it?
1987.
Oh my God.
I know. The 80s are almost over and I haven't even tried Coke yet. I don't know.
Oh my God.
Mom.
Fuck off and die. Jesus, Mom. Mamacita. Ay. Ay, ay, ay. Mamacita.
Time for my birthday, bitch!
This is a creepy-ass cabin in the middle of fucking nowhere.
What's the big deal?
There's a murderer on the loose, and you drove us into the woods. Oh my God! What? I forgot to bring vodka.
You have 7.5 hours until you're stuck here forever.
I need to stop all this horror before it happens. The machines kill us all? No. They more just rip apart the fabric of our society via dance videos on TikTok. They use dance against us?
Come on out. The water's warm.
Just so you know,
I don't do blowjobs. You pee out of that thing.
Just think, maybe if she did do blowjobs, she'd still be alive.
Yeah, let's not make that the lesson. 80s weed sucks. This is just dirt. Look at all these twigs. Yeah, I could give you a gummy this big that has 100 times more weed than this.
Boom, there you go. That was a trailer for Totally Killer streaming on Prime Video right now. It's your boy QP. This is Nerds Rule the World. And as you see on the screen, joining me, my brother from another mother, the cat that loves me up. He's Totally Killer. Glenn Lawrence, how are you, sir?
What's going on, man? I am excited to get into this. I didn't put on my background, but I'm always down to get into some to one of these films. Although I wouldn't say always down. I'm sorry. I've gotten out of the slashers, but there's a throwback to the type of thing that I like, and it's kind of comedy. So I was in for it. Usually I'm not into it, but I'm always down for a good new concept comedy.
I'm kind of surprised you said you did check it out. And I think we made this an entertainment pick last week. Right. And I think I gave you, because I checked it out like a week or two prior, because shout out to Nachka Khan, the director of Totally Killer, who's done Fresh Off the Boat, that bitch in Room Whatever, Young Rock. She does a bunch of Ali Wong specials, directing that. She was amazing. Check out the interview on the channel. But I think I told you last week when we were doing the picks, like, bro, I think you can stomach this one. It's not just straight up horror, but it's like comedy and sci-fi. So I was very excited to hear you did check it out, man.
Right.
So yeah, man. So let's get into it. What'd you think?
Wait, do you remember what I said when we did the initial reaction? Because I if I recall correctly, I said I'm not really into horror, but I think I would check this out. It
you did.
Like it's got some interesting interesting concept to it, which I'm really into, and it looked like the jokes were pretty fresh and
it was
pretty solid. So I think initially I was in there, and then I'm happy that I did. It was like a Saturday night. It was late at night. I was like, man, let me toss this on. So I tossed it on late at night. Okay. I was checking it out, and I thought it was cool. I think it is going to go into the whole lexicon of, Scream, Michael Myers, Jason, Chainsaw Massacre type situations. But I think also it's a little bit of a more humorous take on those things. It's not slapsticky. It doesn't take itself too seriously though. So I thought that it was well done, well put together, a lot of good jump scares, a lot of a great idea. And I like the science that they put into it and the people that they had conducting the science. There's a little bit of roles that you traditionally see in movies being mixed up, and I really enjoyed what they did here with it. It didn't feel forced, it felt cool. So I liked it. There was so much about this that I liked, man. What about you? What did you think? You got the advanced screening. What did you think about it? What were your initial thoughts?
So as soon as I saw it, and then after I watched it again, I was blown away. We did, I think, the reaction to it a little bit prior to all of that. So from based off of the trailer, I'm like, okay, I'm excited. It looked different, and then when we finally saw it, well, I know when I finally saw it, I was like, it is different. It was a good mix of genres mashed up together that I thought was refreshing. It's not like mind-blowing, but it's not the best film I've ever seen, but it was cool. And it's just something different. With the week of this release, when we picked it, when I picked it last week, we got a new Exorcist, we got a new Pet Sematary, which we all know that, you know what I'm saying? It's again going back to the well on those franchises. But here came Totally Killer that, had nothing existing, but it just sat with me more because it was so different. And I think we need that. We need to see, while we love, new installments into a franchise, things can go stale. With this, it was something different. And I really dug it. And for me, Nanashka Khan, who I had the pleasure of talking to, I've always enjoyed her projects. Whenever I saw her name attached to stuff, I was like, okay, she gets it, and she has a voice with her material in a way. And I think this film also kind of spoke with the stuff I've seen of her. Like, it has like that kind of humanistic view and comedy that she has in like all of her projects, that I dig her voice. And she chooses certain things that are her voice. So I think she shined with the direction on this. And man, I enjoyed it. I hope we get some more installments of this. It gives us something fresh. One of the questions I asked her is like, bringing comedy into like other genres. And she did that with this horror film in a way. And if we could get like an even more sci-fi take, I'd love to see her do like a, this is a mixture of sci-fi. It's a little Back to the Future, but to see her do like a aliens thing or something, really sci-fi would be kind of cool. But just clashing genres to just, have fun with it, man. Just bring something fresh to the table. I think is fun.
Yeah.
But overall story, we generally kind of do like a breakdown of the story real quick. There's murders that occurred 35 years ago. 3 women died. The killer comes back to go after the mother of this young lady who you see right here, which then when he attempts to kill her, she gets sent back to the future, or to the past, excuse me, to try and stop the crimes. And then shenanigans happen, and then they come back to the present, but I don't want to spoil. But like you said, very interesting. What do you think of the overall tone of the story beyond just, you enjoyed it, but what do you think? Were there any failures from a filmmaking standpoint that you didn't like with the story?
Not at all. I thought it was very, very solid. I think it spoke to some of the issues that we've had before with time travel films. One of the things that I really liked about this film is that you had a main character go back into the past. And so she takes all these ideologies that we have in today.
Yeah, that was cute.
Tried to apply them to the past. And it was like, people just like laugh at you and laugh in your face and tell you, like that just wasn't what it was in the past. And I, for one, I'm starting to get to the point where I'll see these movies and they want to have like a historical time period or whatever, but then they want to put in today's ideology into that historical time period. And I'm like, it seems like lazy writing, or it seems like poor character development. It seems like poor plot development, all of that, when you put in ideologies from today and try to apply them to, the past time. I thought that this did a good job of speaking to what the past was like versus what the future is like. And I think having that acknowledgement was a real success of this film. Of course, the killer and their motivations I thought was very solid. It was cool seeing that. I love having a child who can do something in the future, and then you go back to the past and see the mom also be able to do that thing. And mainly I'm talking about the science.
That was cool.
The daughter is really into like time travel, figuring things out, science, technology, all that type of stuff. And then you go into the past and find out the mom was into that same stuff, and is her real link, to getting back to the future. I thought that was very, very solid. It was very, very cool. I thought it was really, really well done, really smart. The jokes hit. I liked everything. And then the killings and the stabbings, I thought those were cool. interesting, to have the killer in there, and really go through it. It was really a fun movie. I enjoyed it. It was a throwback to like Scream and all these other slasher films. So I thought it was really well done. I thought I didn't take itself too seriously. I thought plot was well done, acting was well done. I thought it was totally killer.
There you go. Agreed. Could you see a part 2 of Totally Killer storyline wise?
You know what is interesting? I think with the mask and everything and how they set it up, I think it does lend itself to having a sequel. I don't know how they're going to do the sequel or what they're going to do, but there's so many different avenues that they've opened up with who the killer was and their backstory and whatnot. I think that it really lends itself to doing a little bit more, and you open things up in terms of how time travel works in this film.
That's what I was thinking, how you could do the part 2. You change the time paradox,
Exactly. And I thought it was cool. Like, you go back to the past, you change some things, and all of a sudden, like, things change for your reality too. Like, up to including her name is different. You know what I mean? And, she's got, other siblings or whatever that are in, like, just all these things that change, and you're like, oh wow. And I thought, which was also cool, which I don't know if you saw Loki, but Loki, they're doing the same thing. When something happens in the past, it like updates your future, and that future memory basically kind of gets changed, which I thought was a very interesting concept to have. I think with time travel movies, as long as you're kind of consistent in the logic of your movie, then it's fine. Like, time travel movies only exist within their universe. So as long as your rules are consistent in your movie, then it makes sense. It doesn't matter what Marty McFly and how Back to the Future worked. It doesn't matter how Endgame and its time travel worked. You know what I mean? It, like, all of that is irrelevant in your film. How does your time travel world work? And as long as you're sticking to those rules, I think it's really cool. So I thought it was an excellent job what they did with this film in how it handled time travel. And then the slasher aspect of it, I thought was cool. And the dumb kid aspect, it's like, hey, we're trying to get away from the killer, and this is where you take us to, like, this, crazy situation. And even her passing out in the car, like, just explaining the fact that she hadn't slept for days or whatever, which is why, in this heightened state, she falls asleep in the car, and then you just wake up somewhere else. Like, I thought it was all well done, and everything, like, made sense. There wasn't, like, silly things that made no sense. It's like, why are these people acting this way, or why would they make that decision? Completely solid, man. I'm thinking that it's really cool that you got to interview the people involved with this film, and I think everybody should check out those interviews for more insight. But this is solid. This is a good one. This is one to put on your mantle, Saturday night, if you're looking for something to watch with your friends around around a few beers or whatnot, or drinks. I think it's a fun film.
Agreed. Completely agree with that, man. Again, fun, fresh, and original. Amazon original. Shout out to Amazon Prime Video. Super dope, fun. Nanashka Khan, man, amazing. If you haven't seen any of her works, Young Rock, that bitch in room whatever, or apartment whatever. Always Be My Maybe. A bunch of Ali Wong stuff. She partners up to produce a lot of her specials. Young Rock, I said that. Fresh off the boat. Just awesome. She used to write on American Dad. That's where she started. She was a writer on American Dad with Seth MacFarlane, man. So knows comedy and can bring it to different genres, and I'm looking forward to what she does next. But yeah, Totally Killer was killer, man. Just all the great elements. Cannot complain on this one. Just fun. Just a lot of fun. All right, Glenn, you're Totally Killer. And if people want to, kill time with you and check out one of your shows, how can the people reach out to you, brother?
Check me out at levelupcomedy.com. Glenn Levels Up on Twitter /X, or Glenn Lawrence Comedy on Facebook and IG. Check me out. Blurred Dad Podcast is, if you check out Glenn Lawrence Comedy, you're going to find it there. And we're having fun, man. We're talking, telling jokes, talking about parenting. It's a good time.
Get your laugh on with my boy Glenn, y'all. He's Totally Killer. And for me, it's the Legend Kuya P on Twitter, TikTok, IG, Hive, Blue Sky, and of course here with Glenn and the whole squad at the NRW and Analyst Wednesday, where nerds rule the world. Those are our thoughts, our feelings, our vibes on Totally Killer. Let us know what you think about it in the comments below, and then go check out the interview with Nanashka Khan. She's dope. Tell her you want to see Totally Killer too. Peace. All right, bye.